Anyone who's been coaching for a while will recognise this story, in part, if not in whole. You're having a hard week. It's just not going right in scrims. The team is playing below their standard, forgetting what you discussed, missing things and slipping up. You keep telling them the same simple instructions over and over, but something isn't quite clicking. Then, the first competitive game rolls around and it goes horribly. They make the same mistakes that you've been warning them about all week. They just aren't listening to you. You can't help it. You lose control. You really lose control. You shout, you insult them, you get really angry. Once you've calmed down, a little later in the evening, you regret your actions. It wasn't what you should have done or said, but the emotions took over. And what's happened, happened. Yet, the next day, in the following competitive game, they play much better. They don't make those silly mistakes. They don't play amazingly, sure, but they play how you know they can. You pick up the win against the team you're only slightly above in the standings. Phew. Next week, things really pick up. They're playing better and better in practice. They take instruction much quicker than usual. They can execute things they would have struggled with in the past. Great. The first competitive game comes and they keep up that form. You smash a team further up the table. It's fantastic. You heap praise on them. It's finally all coming together. Things are looking amazing. But the next day, it's all gone. The spark, the magic, that extra level you never knew you had. You're back to the same old ways. You narrowly lose to a team on the exact same score. So what happened? We're told so often that praising good decisions is great in coaching. We're told to never lose control or berate our team. But sometimes it seems the opposite is true. An angry, emotional tirade made them play better, while praising them made them play worse. Your experience proves it. Or does it? You could have found the only team that performs worse when you pick up on their good habits and better when you demean them. But what's far more likely is that you've just experienced what statisticians call regression to the mean. We have a tendency to believe whatever form we are currently in will last. But no matter how we played most recently, we're far more likely to perform on average than at any other level. We have a tendency to believe that tremendous effort and subsequent success makes us better and that the improvement will last. But the truth is, after extremely bad and extremely good streaks, we almost always regress to our baseline form. We regress to the mean. If the base level form of your team is a 5, then out of nowhere they play at a 3, what is their most likely performance the next day? It's a 5. And if they suddenly perform at an 8, what will they be the day after, on average? A 5 again. This holds true week to week, but also split to split or even year to year. This phenomenon is widely recognised in sports. It even has different names in different sports. Sophomore slump, second year blues, plexiglass principle, whatever the name, the general idea is that the team that gives a stellar performance in one season tend to decline in the next, and vice versa. So don't read too much into streaks in form. They're temporary by nature. Both good and bad will tend to return towards the average. And more importantly, always consider this principle when you make strategic decisions. Say a superstar player drastically underperforms in one split, so you, as an organisation, make a drastic decision to replace him. It's the appropriate response, it seems. But then he joins another team and starts performing better again. Yes, you might have won in the short term and jumped from last place to middle of the pack, say, but maybe you lost a potentially great player just because you failed to recognise a simple statistical fact. Even worse, you'll never know whether your dramatic decision was justified or if it was just pure luck. So be careful. Don't be so quick to dismiss players who are having a tough couple of games, who have shown a consistent level in the past. Maybe they're just underperforming now. And don't be so quick to think you've reached the top if you suddenly have an amazing season after a series of bad placements. Make sure you learn to distinguish true performance from luck, and that you are consistent in judging success and failure.